Hey everybody, it's your girl Nisha, aka Nisha the Voice, and also with my boy.
Hey, DJ Gates, we back.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody, and this is another edition of Industry Conversations 101. Tonight we have a great show for everybody. Our special guest tonight is hip hop legend Positive K, who will be coming in kicking it with us tonight. Also, basically, we're gonna talk about Ray J and the fact that Ray J just went off this week. I guess you can say it was just messy Tuesday because he just basically put out all of the business between himself and also the
Yeah,
Kardashian clan. And honestly, Gates, I'm kind of glad or whatever that he finally spoke up and spoke out regarding
yeah,
the sex tape scandal, as which we know is almost like 20 years old. So, but I'm glad that he was able to have those receipts and that he was able to talk about his side of the story because he had been quiet for so long. What you think
yeah,
about this?
yeah. We all knew it was all like the older people who we all knew it was sort of mastermind because it felt like a real production when it was being done for a minute. Like anybody probably that watched it and they probably like, well, it looked professional a little. So it's like she didn't look like she was caught off guard.
Right,
So like some people who did sex tapes, you could tell they didn't look like they knew it was cameras there. This was, designed for profit because a lot of people probably figure out, well, look how Pamela did it and her boy and her husband at the time. Now theirs was different because they did it for themselves, and somebody broke in and stole their tape and sold it. This
right,
one they actually presented to everybody, and the mastermind happened to be the mother and Kim. They make money off of it.
right, right. Right. Agreed. Agreed. The masterminds, of course, was Kim Kardashian, the family, etc. That were the masterminds. Because mind you, we never knew who they were
Yeah,
until this whole scandal came out. And so just as you're saying, like now when Ray J pulled out the receipts and was able to kind of go verbatim of what the conversations were, even those who don't know who Vivid is. Vivid is pretty much the epitome of adult entertainment. So selling
yeah,
that video to Vivid, so that this sex tape or whatsoever it was everywhere. That's
yeah.
the same thing with the Mimi Frost situation.
Mhm.
To be able to capitalize off these things, and I think like you said, with the other celebrities that have done this, was pretty much trying to capitalize off these sex tapes during that particular time. Now
Mhm.
all this stuff has gone on with Ray J and saying there's a second tape and all this other stuff. He's saying all this stuff is not true. It's just basically at the point where they were trying to blame it on him, like he was doing something to them, when
Yeah,
the whole rationality of the part of the whole situation was the fact that they had a hand in it the whole time and they were capitalizing off the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. That's basically what it is. And then if you look at it, they do so much to build storyline for the
Right,
show, so they don't have. You can tell they running out of material to talk about. Like if
right,
it's not talking about Kanye West, they gotta talk like somebody. One of the sisters got to at least have something interesting they can talk about because they really don't have nothing. If it's not one of the sisters talking about what was her baby father, one of the basketball player Trish. If you're not talking about his cheating scheme, then it always come back to Kim. Like, well, Kim, we dry right now. What can we talk about? We already
right,
talked about the Kanye West and y'all, separated. Let's resurface the Ray J tape. Nobody was talking about this tape for like years.
right.
So for you to go that far back and say let's put this tape and let's make it into a big storyline again, sounds like you was pretty desperate to keep your name relevant.
Right, right, exactly. I think so too. I think it was pretty much to keep your name relevant. And I don't know if
Mhm.
everybody's seen, like, Kim's appearance is totally different than what it
Yeah,
used to be. She's lost a tremendous amount of weight. And everybody, was talking about all the plastic
She look
surgery that
old.
she looks very old. And everybody was talking about the plastic surgery that her family has undergone. She went under like all this lie detector tests. Her mom went under a lie detector test.
Yeah.
All these different types of things. And like I said again, I'm just happy the fact that he finally had the opportunity to share his truth. Even when he even talked about the lawsuit with Brandy and the mom,
Yeah.
like all these different types of things are starting to come out of the closet now,
Yeah.
regarding the surrounding around Ray J and the Kardashians. Now Tyrese is speaking out about the time that he lived with Kim Kardashian and the fact that he almost committed suicide when he was living with them. It's almost like these stories just remind you of movies that we've actually seen. You know what I'm saying? Like a full-fledged movie. Maybe they may do a movie about the Kardashians. You know, and the fact of the men that they've had in their lives is just always something that is just has transpired with them.
Yeah. And I'm just happy because nobody's thinking about this man got kids himself. Like
Right.
you don't want
Right.
nobody. No, you talk about how you're protected over your kids, but this man got a kids himself. So keep on rehashing this storyline, and then he has to do And you remember, he might not be a much of a singer, but he became a businessman. You could be closing doors for him.
He did. He did. I mean, and at the same time, he is a great businessman actually, because he
Yeah.
has a lot of great business ventures that he has pretty much
Yeah.
embarked on that have really made generated some revenue for him. I think he's really done well in that particular
Yeah.
space,
Right.
just as well as creating some revenue for himself. The other thing that is surrounded around this story, especially in the entertainment industry, is that how rapidly this is happening. A lot. I mean, we see this happen a lot, especially with all of what I mean, all of the celebrities that have had sex tapes leaked like this.
Yeah. Like
You know?
you gotta think about some of these sex tapes. Like some of them, you could tell, like I said before, like they look like people wasn't aware, and some of them look like they
Right.
prepared. Like oh, what's the girl? The Love and Hip Hop girl, Mimi from Love and Hip Hop. When she tried to get mad at her boyfriend, talking about, I didn't know you was going to sell the tape, but they both signed a contract to sell the tape. Now I think to the
Right.
same company that that Ray J and Kim did. They got a big
Mm-hmm.
contract for because they got to the point where they were selling shower rods.
Right.
Remember, so she was trying to turn around and say, "Oh, I didn't know nothing about it," but it took y'all two to both sign off on it. They can't put nothing out unless y'all sign off on it, because
Right.
then
Right.
that'd be a lawsuit against them. So you like these people, like people who do say, if you don't want to expose or sell your body like that, then that's something you need to talk to your partner. Like you're not into that,
Right.
and he or she need to have an understanding. Like you don't want to, what y'all got going in the house stays in the house.
Agreed.
It's not for the
Agreed. And
public.
then right. Remember, but the storyline for a lot of these things was, oh, well, it was somebody stole my bag. Somebody got the
Yeah.
tape from out of my bag, or somebody got the videotape from out of our luggage that was stolen. Which I really feel is just BS, because at the end of the day, you're talking about how. First of all, how did the bag get stolen? For one, where did you leave the bag? Number two, why would you leave something personal like that? Why would you travel with something personal like that in your bag?
Yeah.
Now, we had all these things with cell phones. When cell phones emerged to where you can hack things from the cloud, or
Yeah.
you can retrieve videos from things that you have stored, where people are hacking into these different types of databases now and leaking these things. That's a different story. But during that particular time, oh, somebody
Yeah.
stole my bag, somebody stole this. And this is the same thing with the Nico and Mimi Foss situation. Same thing. The
Yeah.
storyline was somebody stole our bag, somebody stole our bag. And then it went on for months and months and months and months. And come to find out, they were in on the whole thing because they were going to get bukus of money behind it because of who she was
Yeah.
and what she was doing at the particular time.
Yeah. That's what
And
I'm
I
saying.
think it's just a
All
quick
this.
buck.
Yeah, it's a quick buck. But then when you don't like how people are looking at you, or they judging you, or you realize people want to close you off from going into certain doors, that's when, oh no, I didn't want to do that. It's always when somebody cut you off and close you from going into a certain doors. Now you realize how bad it was. Like, man, I
Right.
should never did that. Now look, I can't do this. Now executives don't want to do business with me because they don't look at me as a businesswoman no more. Now they like, well, is she a sexual person, or I don't look at her as a lawyer. I look at her as some adult entertainer. So I look at him as some adult entertainer. So they take what you do that you try to put in it. You want us to believe that's what you do as professional, but when you do something else, it waters down what you have something going on that's great.
Right. I agreed. Agreed. It actually puts like a negative spin on
Mm-hmm.
everything that you're doing right now that is positive.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with that. The other thing, of course, that has gone on that has transpired during the week, of course, rest in peace to PNB Rock.
Yes.
He lost his life early on up in the week at Roscoe's. And there's a lot of controversy surrounded around his death and what caused this, and a whole bunch of things that we're continuing to see right now in the state of hip hop is that you have so many of these younger artists that are being gunned down, by even people that they know, or even the fact that I know, and Lil Scrappy said this, and I think I find it to be true, that of course when you go into if you're in the streets and you go into the music industry, you have to cut that street life off. And for some people it's very hard to do. Some artists it's very hard to do because they don't want to lose their street credit, they don't want to seem soft, or they don't want to seem like they have, I guess, a traitor, or the fact that they are forgetting where they came
Mm-hmm.
from, things of that nature. But Scrappy kind of made it
Yeah.
very clear, like you have to leave those streets alone once you
You're right.
become the artist you are. And a lot of
Right.
these
I
artists
also,
don't, yeah, right. And a lot of these artists try to live the same life that they lived
mm-hmm.
before they become, famous.
Yeah. You're right. I think that's why sometimes it's good. That's what A&Rs used to do. You used to have like a team around you. They used to tell you how to move in the street. They used to tell you not to be in certain places. They used to really be around you, like, no, once you do this, you can't be here no more.
Right.
Some artists want to listen to that because, like how you said, they wanted to feel like, no, what I rap about is real, so I keep it real by being there. Can't
Right.
be. If you got so much stuff going on, like I don't understand what you did this career to get away from the hood. So why you got to prove anything to go to be in the hood?
You
Just
know what?
deal
That's
to get out of the hood and better yourself and your loved ones.
right. Agreed. Like you said, you're leaving the hood to make a better life for yourself and your family. But you do have those artists that cannot truly and honestly leave the streets alone. Like they feel like they have to continue. Like you said, if this is what I'm rapping about, I've got to stay true to it. But that's not always the case. Like you can stay true to it by writing those stories, or even telling those stories
Yeah.
in your music. You know what I'm saying? And then actually putting a positive spin on it, and kind of doing or giving back to your community in a positive way. Now we've
Yeah.
seen so many, like I said, there's so much controversy. There's so many conspiracy theories out now about surrounded around PNB Rock's death, of even dropping your location. The thing is that what I learned in my career, sometimes you can't always drop the location of where you live, or
Yeah.
even the fact of where you are in certain situations. In this case, apparently there was a video, there was something that was on social media before he went to his location that transpired to, this happened, this robbery happening. And it's ironic that as soon as the location is dropped, it's like 20 minutes later, this man is no longer with us. So there's a lot of things, like I said, conspiracy theories that is surrounded around the situation. I do feel that it's sad that we continue to see these stories on a daily basis, surrounding around these newer hip hop artists. Now, don't get me wrong, back in the 90s when 80s and 90s when I was growing up, did this type of stuff happen? Yes, it did, but it wasn't to this bigger magnitude. The only biggest beef that I ever knew of was the East Coast and West Coast beef. In the 80s, there may have been some beef, but you couldn't really tell because everybody was talking about so much about partying and about females. Like, and if you saw somebody on a show, or if they had beef, you wouldn't know that they had a show. And then, not a show, but you didn't know if they had beef or not. You get what I'm saying? So it was just one of those things that I honestly think that that just pretty much that just transpire, that it's just unfortunate and sad. But without further ado, I want to bring a legend in the building. Positive K, how are you?
Oh man, what's going on?
Hey, I am so excited to have you on with me tonight because it's so many questions I want to ask. I just remember rocking to you back in 1992 when I got a man and me being young in my cross colors and actually
Y'all put me in the box.
So how are you doing tonight?
Is that Gates back there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, homie, what's up, man? That's the homie.
That's good. How you doing?
He's holding me down, man. Anything drop, Gates is on it.
We family. That's how we do it.
We rocks.
We family.
So, of course, I know you have a new single out, Nobody, and then also I Get It Done. So tell me a little bit about the concept of those two singles, because it does have that old school flavor that is missing right now from hip hop, and I love it. So tell me what the concepts were behind that.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody says, "Oh, it's the old school flavor," but they're new records. You know what I'm saying? They're new records, they're new joints, and they're hot. I'm gonna tell you what the old school feel about it is that I made the song. It resembles like the old school single. Know that Gates, the single? When you had songs, you had different versions of it. Now you had the clean, the instrumental, the acapella, and you had two songs and something. So that's what I got going on. I got a single out right now. That's my only thing old school about it.
Right, exactly. And I remember, when like you said, you have the single here, and then you got you flip it on the other side and you see the acapella version, So it's to me it was refreshing to see that, because I haven't seen that done, especially by artists in a long time. So it was good to see that. It was good to feel that, and I was like, okay, cool. And I love, I just love the flow of both songs, both records. Because for real, like you are, and I say this all the time, you are basically one of those artists that tell stories. We don't see that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody got no time no more. Nobody has time to say that. Everybody want to get a video out, do Young selling million records. Nobody got time for us, though.
Yeah. So I mean, it was, like I said, it was refreshing to see that. It was refreshing to basically hear it, and have that, like I told you before, when we first came on, of actually being able to groove with something. It was the main thing that I loved about your music was is told stories. We could rock to it. We could laugh to it because you were very comedic, still very comedic. In your music, and it was enjoyable. It still is enjoyable for us to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So it's more refreshing to me, because it's like I know what the 90s was like. That time that was a good time for music. And I just know it's just like right now, it's like we just have everybody sounding the same right now. So
yeah, it's really,
and I just feel like
you know, it's kind of congested.
yes,
And I've
it
seen
is.
that going, like, you know, I seen that when I was coming up. You know, it started getting that way when you came, and you know, everybody was just doing everybody else. You know, if you was hot, everybody was commenting and imitating and doing the piggyback ride, trying to get where you got to go. You heard Biggie, you heard a certain artist, you heard Kane. There was another Kane out there. You know, there was always a mirror image walking around what you're doing. But then it got really bad. Now it's just like you tell who's who anymore. You know,
Right.
somebody wins with an auto tune, then you got about, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody
Right.
talking about murder, death, kill. Next thing you know, murder, death, kill. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, and speaking of that, when you're talking about, you know, you coming up in the game and you had the opportunity to basically work with some very heavy hitters in the game, you know, like you just mentioned, Kane, Jay-Z, a couple people that you worked with, you know, some old school, you know, heavy hitters as well in the game as well. So tell me a little bit about what has made you the artist that you are now, those moments, you know, growing up in that time.
Those hard knocks, they make you learn to repeat that same mistake twice. You know, you learn from the mistake. Money, you're running around, you got success. You know, you're good looking. In my respect, my regard. You got a lot of things going for you, man, and it's so easy to fall into a lot of traps. It's like bad management, bad company, you know, bad representation. Just, you know, we get to that point, it's like, oh, we think we know it all, and you just don't know. And we all knew what the key to success. We'd all be rich, but we don't all know. You know what I'm saying? All best foot forward and try and hope for the best. That's all it is. But you function and you follow those mistakes you made. So you know what? I'm not going that road again. Not going down there again. You know, a lot of guys I know aren't here today. A lot of guys is in jail. A lot of guys are broke, depressed, you know, psychotic. You know, some of them just strung out on drugs and never been able to get out of it. Alcoholics, and you know, this game touches you, people, and it touches a lot of people. But then it comes to a point you gotta say, yo, you know, I've seen this. I don't want to be that, you know. So it's like you gotta learn from the mistakes and the lessons and the walking lessons that's in front of you.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. And you know, speaking like moving forward, like I talked about, the year is 1992. You just released your album, the song. You just did the duet with MC Lyte, just as well as I Got a Man. How did that change your life as an artist?
It's so crazy because it changed a lot. I mean, I'm not like, well, that was like 89. I think I dropped Step Up Front like 88, the combination, and 88, and I think top 89 in it, and I left around 90. But that was the biggest song. That was the touchdown right there, you know.
Yeah.
I made that song because I'm a fan of Mark is that I want to do something like that. If I was Marvin Gaye, I said to myself, what would he do? You know, if he was, you know, he always did duets. He did Diana Ross. He did Dionne Warwick. He did Tammy. He did some stuff with the Marvelettes. You know, so I was like, you know, let me do it too. And I had one of the best female MCs around, just right there. You know, we was rocking together. She was like, let's go. So we did it, and then it just the chemistry was there. It just came out, and I mean, it made. I think me and like get to a room today, and we coming out with something hot. I guarantee you that. But yeah, it changed my life because after that, I met some like Kane, who took me under the wing. I mean, because he was on top. He's still on top of my top fives, and he was like, "Yo, come on, man, let's go." You know, they ain't treat. And I said, you sure? He said, come on, let's go. He said, I can't tell you what to do, but if you want to go, and if somebody like Kane tell you got your back, you know, then hey, I'm out. You know,
Right.
And we started working, man, and you know, and I mean, out of his pocket, I mean, you know, he put up with my attitudes and everything. You know, he was just like, yo, man, be great. Just hold on, you got it. So we worked.
Yeah, I love it. So let's fast forward to Positive K, the comedian. Did he pause? Yeah. So we lost. There he is.
You know,
hey!
So, you know, it was crazy. Yeah.
And so here's the thing too, like, let's talk about Positive K, the comedian, the stand-up comic. How did that come about? I think we may have lost him. I think we might have lost him. So I guess we'll see when he comes back on. There he is. Hey, can you see me?
I got you.
Okay. I was like,
Grace ain't gonna leave me like that, man.
So how did the stand-up comedian, Positive K, the stand-up comedian, come about?
I don't think it came about. I think I always was. If anybody tell a chick, hey, what you man got to do with me? That's hilarious. I just found the real lane. I was play rapping. Comedy was the main thing I was supposed to be doing. You know, so.
But I swear, like, I loved it. Like I told you, like, your music told stories, and it was comedic as well. But I guess that's what made it so unique, and that's what made you unique as an artist, because we could get a laugh with you, but then also we can also groove at the same time because of the music that you presented to us. I mean, especially me, like, I appreciate it more than anything. You know, we were in school because we used to rock. I'm a South Carolina girl, by the way, and I know I didn't get to catch you when you came to South Carolina. Yeah, boy.
Might be my cousin.
Listen with you. But you know, I didn't get to catch you when you did come to South Carolina, but when we were growing up, when the songs and everything came out, it was like we used to always write down the words to your lyrics and try to figure out what you were saying so that we could be rapping it in class, you know. So a lot of us got in trouble because we were trying to pretty much, you know, mimic the song or have the lyrics to the song at the same time. But it was like your songs, your music, or whatsoever gave us, you know, that period in time just made it enjoyable. And I can't thank you enough for your contribution, you know, to hip hop.
Well, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad you passed the class. All right. I don't want to live with that. Like, oh man, no, she failed the class. She failed and she flunked out. And it's my fault. I don't want to live. Don't put that on me.
No. But before, I know you got a busy schedule, but before you go, where can everybody get your music? Where can they find your handles? Of course, on social media.
Well, right now it's called Get It Done, and nobody. It's in the store. I didn't start pushing it yet in about a week, so you'll start feeling it in about a week. I'm pretty sure Gates is gonna be on top of it. I know what he do. All right, and we're gonna get that going. But yeah, follow K_. That's on Instagram and Twitter. Official Positive K on Brandon. That's my little personal thing. You know, if you know me, then you know. But like I said, I insist on this, fellas. If you got your shirt off, do not send me a friend request. Okay. Do not send me. Listen, I don't know what kind of point you're making. You know, I don't know, but if you send me a friend request with your shirt off, I don't care how much weight you lift from the gym, I'm gonna block you. That's all I'm gonna say. So Carrie.
He was a mess. Well, from me and all of your friends and all of your fans in South Carolina, we say thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a ball with you tonight, and thank you. I really thank you for blessing me with your presence tonight.
Yeah. And remember, listen, come your rap show or a Positive K comedy experience show, you better come on out, man. You're gonna get a dope, you're gonna get a comedy show. It's gonna be funny, it's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be hilarious. If it's a rap show, you better believe me. Next time you see me performing, you better come on out. All right?
I will. I definitely will. I think the last time you were in South Carolina, you was at Legend Sports Bar. And I wasn't able to make it that night, but I heard that you did a wonderful job. And like I said, from all of my friends, everybody in South Carolina, we love you and thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me, DJ. Get new joints, man.
Yes. I need one. I think one of those records I don't have. You gotta send that to me.
Okay, you don't have nobody yet. Well, I'm gonna say when you get nobody record. So, but I get it done by itself.
Yeah,
I gave you all the clean and dirty and acapella.
Yes, I definitely been spinning. And also, are you still on Rock the Bells?
Rock the Bells right now. You have to come home and take care of Miles, man. I'm a caregiver also. You know.
Okay.
I'm multitasking and she's doing well. But but I'm team Rock the Bells all day.
All right, no doubt.
All right.
Shout out to the GOAT, big shout out to Jay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kay. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
All right, good night.
All right.
Oh my God, I love him. Love him, love him, love him, love him. What your man got to do with me? I got a man. I love it. Well, y'all, that's our show for tonight. Of course, as we always do every Thursday night, bring you all the hottest independent artists, just as well as the hottest gossip. As well, next week we'll also be back. Next Thursday, we'll talk about the hottest independent artist Gates. In this segment, will bring us the hottest independent artists out right now. So if you are an independent artist and you have a video or if you have a single, make sure you go to our Instagram page, Industry Convo 101. Click the link in the bio and send us your videos or either send us your music. We would love to get it on the show and also do a music review as well. You can follow me at Nisha The Voice on Instagram and Gates. Yeah,
you can find me at East Harlem DJ Gates. Oh, also artists, you can send me your music djjgates@gmail.com. Have your music label right. I don't want track one. I want your name. I want to know who you are. Some artists be sending me music. I don't know who you are. I want to know the name of your record. You can send me a clean version and a dirty version. I prefer the clean because if I like it, I can play it on platforms where you could play it clean and might be registered. You might get some points off of it.
Hey, that's right. But we're going to sign out tonight and we're going to pay tribute to PNB Rock. We love you all. We will see you all next Thursday.
I want to order myself. You don't need nobody else. I want to order myself, I swear. Oh yeah. I'm selfish. I want to order myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want to order myself because I'm selfish. I want to order myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want to order myself, I swear. I'm selfish. I want to order myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want to order myself because I'm selfish. I want to order myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else. I want to order myself.